You want some food? How are we going, everyone? We're going to feed Krishna, give him a good feed, play with the puppies, go and feed the chickens, collect the eggs, and then we're going to go and talk about broad beans. Come along. I cleaned up here earlier on and bloody birds are getting in here again. I'm not going to cover this, but by comparison to last year, I don't know if you remember last year, the broad beans were up here. They were huge and they were actually taking a lot longer to flower. So what I had to do was actually crack the heads off, snap the tops. And that's what you do. It's blind tipping them, basically. We do that with pumpkins, zucchinis and pumpkins. If they're running too far, if you find that your pumpkins are traveling too far in the garden, it's a little bit early to talk about it, but keep it in mind. Just blind tip them. It's pinch off all the leaders, pinch the tips off, and that causes the plant to start flowering. With the broad beans last year, I think I did do some of them, not all of them, but they were actually really high, and the flowers weren't on them until they got about 5 foot. Now here, this year, is it the black grit? Probably is, because I pumped a lot of it onto it this year. Look at it, they're flowering from the base all the way up. So we've got, oh look at that, that's broken already. But that's holding on, it's still alive. Look, I think it is, doesn't matter. We've lost all those flowers, but this is what we're talking about. Lots of flowers all the way through, and over time, as the weather starts to open up, give it time, they'll set fruit. This is our seed from last year that I collected, and I planted some in the raised bed. These are the beds that I had nightmares with. I couldn't grow anything in it because of the bad soil. It was bad, all right. I got better words to use than that. But look at this. These ones are struggling here. Same time planting. All right, so the leafy greens, very acidic, I think it is. That's what's happening. And I let the collies and the broccolis go to flower there. I didn't harvest those. That's okay. But look at these broad beans. By comparison, side by side, same treatment, same soil. This one looks like it's recovering better than the other side. So you can't really, you can do what you put everything into the garden, what you like into it, like all your fertilizers, and you just got to let nature take its place and let the soil settle down, let the microbes kick in. The black grit does work. I mean, the liquid fertilizers do work, but there was some sort of contamination in this bed. But back to broad beans. Wow, look at all these flowers, eh? Isn't that fantastic? Now we expect to get a half decent crop out of this year. So folks, if you haven't planted your broad beans, don't bother planting them now. It's way too late. Get your soil ready for some spring crops. Put some lettuce, if you like, into the ground. They'll grow real quick. 8 to 10 weeks turnaround maximum. And you can plant in between your tomatoes and cucumbers if you like. But if you have got your broad beans and they're stretching out too long and they haven't got any flowers, they're the flowers there. You need to tip them off the top if they're really tall. If they're not tall, then enjoy them. Enjoy the harvest out of them. Sit back and watch it happen. These ones last year, when they finished, folks, I cut them back to the ground. I left the roots in the ground, and I did dig actually the foliage in too, not all of it, a little bit of it, to see if I can build up the nitrogen in the soil. But I also added a lot of black grit into it to balance it out, because that's what black grit does. It stops it from becoming too acidic. In actual fact, I don't think I put any black grit in those, or not recently for the broad beans. So you can see what it does. It actually brings on more flowers by comparison to last year. So nitrogen fixing, that's what we say broad beans do. And all your peas and your lucerne, you dig that back into the soil. But when you put the black grit into it, well, it counteracts it. And that's what you want it to do. You don't want it to become too acidic. If it becomes too acidic, you get a lot of leaf growth, you get a lot of stem growth, and very little or no flowers on the plant. In this case here, I'm really happy with the soil condition here. Those ones I've got to work on a little bit more, but that's okay. We've got plenty of garden beds. We've got plenty of things to play with. The kale's gone crazy. Those lettuce, they're the transplanted ones. I haven't checked on those, see how they're going. They're not too bad. A little bit of frostbite there because of the transplant shock, I call it, but they've settled down. They're doing okay. Forget about the broccoli. They were eaten by the chooks when they were free range. And the kale, well, that's a weed, isn't it? You just class it as a weed. It sprouts out everywhere. Wow, we've got a lot of work ahead of us here. Get ready for springtime, folks. Get your garden ready. If you're not planting your leafy greens at the moment, get it ready. Let it sit for a while and get your spring vegetables growing nice and big and get them into the ground so we can enjoy a beautiful harvest. And as I say every day, don't rely on the supermarkets to feed you. If you do that, we're all lost. Start relying in your own backyard. Doesn't matter if it's not big, it's a small courtyard or a balcony. You can put 10 pots. We won't say big pots, 10-inch pots like that. 10 of those. You can put 3 or 4 lettuce leaves, spring onions into them, parsley. Just that little bit of extra growth from your own backyard makes a world of difference when it comes to cooking and enjoyment. You're releasing yourself, the tension of life the way we are sitting at the moment, and the gardening is the best way to do it. And today, I actually missed out. You know that? I'm going to have a bit of a sook here. I didn't get to go in the garden. I was too busy in the warehouse packing all your orders. We've been inundated with orders, folks, and I've been helping the team there. So please be patient. The sales are still going on, up to 70% off everything, and the coupon code's secret. Lots of great deals and benefits. Keep putting them in, because once the sales are over, you're going to regret it. I think they're going to finish by the end of the month. Let's get ready for spring sale. Who knows what's in store for next season? But for now, enjoy what we have at Vasili'sGarden.com and enjoy your garden. Get out there and relax a little bit. From me, Vasili, Maresi.